These are the blood spatters of the child, Desiree, as you can see here. When they were trying to save his life, that wasn't possible up until he was declared dead at the hospital, Desiree. It's believed that the child was left alone with the pitbull while the elders were inside the house, Desiree. But to tell us more, I'm now bringing the owner of the pitbull, and she must clarify some of the issues that are being raised with regards to this incident. Ma'am, thanks a lot for your time, and I believe your name is Nolene Fourie. Tell us what happened yesterday.
Yesterday, good afternoon. Yesterday we were outside here and we had a bowl of water for the little boy to play in because it was so hot. We stripped him of his clothes and he was running around here, and then we heard another dog barking. And my dog never saw him, the dog, I should say. And I don't mean it ugly, but he went blind. And the mother was busy feeding the child. The child was right here at her chest. The mother was busy feeding him cake. And all of a sudden, the dog just grabbed him, ran to the gate behind me. And I jumped on the dog, put my fingers up his nose. He let the child go. And then we rushed him to hospital. My neighbor Clinton took us.
Any form of responsibility are you taking with regards to having this domestic dog which killed this child?
I would say yes, but no as well. The child is not the first time he's been in here. It's not the second. It might be about the 10th or the 12th time that the child and the dog have been. We've been outside with the dog all the time. And when the child touches the dog runs away. Or walks away, I should say, from the child. So what actually happened yesterday, I don't know if something just sparked him, or if it was the dogs that set him off. He just grabbed the child and...
But do you acknowledge that having the dog inside at your premises domestically, if it wasn't here, the child would still be alive?
I agree 100% to that. But as I say, I mean, the mother, myself, and the child and the dog were all here together. But I'm not blaming the other dogs, please don't think that. But I think maybe just that barking, that he couldn't see the other dog, it just set him off to grab the first person thing available.
The efforts that you made to save the child, would you say you did enough? Because this is your dog. It's your dog. How long have you had this dog?
I've had the dog for about a year and a half to 2 years. I'd say a year and a half to 2 years.
And the calls for them to be banned? What's your view on that?
No, I don't think they should be banned. It's not the dog's fault that the people don't know how to bring a dog up.
But yours took a life, an innocent life.
Yes, I agree. My dog took a life. But the thing is, as I say, I've only had him for 2 years. If he was a puppy, I would have brought him up totally different.
And have you been in contact with the police since now an investigation is underway?
The police were at the hospital yesterday. They asked me all the information you are asking me. I gave them the best results that I knew how. There is going to be a docket. There is a docket open, and we'll just wait and see what happens after that.
In light of this incident, would you own another pit bull?
Yes, I would. I definitely would. As far as I'm concerned, they're lovable, they're trustworthy, extremely protective. You won't come into any of these gates without calling me.
The mother of the child is described as being in a distraught position in light of this incident. Tell us more how she's doing and where she's at now.
Okay, she spent the whole of last night in my house crying, not really crying, there were no tears, but crying. And she was, sorry to say this, she was more worried about her computer, her clothes, and that sort of thing. And once in a blue moon she'll say, "Oh, my child, we're my cunt." So what do you make of it?
Is there any sign of negligence from your side that you might pick up?
I wouldn't say there is a sign of negligence, but
Okay.
why do you bring your child in here 10 times and the dog does absolutely nothing? Every time the child wanted to touch the dog walked away.
So in other words, you're cooperating with law enforcement agencies, but no sense of responsibility you're taking?
I won't say I'm not responsible for it. I am. I admit I am responsible. But everybody on the farm knows that it is a vicious pit bull. As I say, you wouldn't dare come into the gate. You have to call me. Let him smell you. And then he might let you in.
How long were they here before the incident took place?
Sorry, how?
How long were they in your premises before the incident took the life of the dog, of the child?
Oh, they must have been here about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, if not longer.
Ma'am, it's not over yet with regards to this case, as there's a spate of pit bulls claiming the lives of young people. But thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Enjoy
Well,
the rest of
Desiree,
your day.
that was Nolene Fourie, the owner of the pit bull. Let's bring in the SPCA now. I'm now joined by Andries Venter he's the general manager of the SPCA here in East London. Sir, what do you make of the incident that took place here?
It's a very sad, emotional incident for everyone. Obviously, we were called to come and assist the animal for the animal safety due to the media hype recently, but also to secure the animal so that no further incidents take place. We make of it that people should not take animals as safe at any stage. They're domesticated. They remain animals. If you have a young child, you have to watch what the animals do around that child. And we make of it that it may have been a tragic accident, but if there was neglect, if the baby was left alone with the dog at any stage, if something triggered that dog, there were signs before that the dog was aggressive. You heard the owner saying that no one would come into a yard without calling her first. We've attended to previous complaints where the dog had killed other animals coming into the property. So the dog had a tendency of aggression in it. And unfortunately, this child must have done something, or something must have happened to trigger it.
In light of this, what form of accountability can the SPCA take?
In terms of the Animal Matters Amendment Act, any person as a result of whose negligence an animal causes harm to another person is criminally liable. We have been in contact with the investigating officer. They are opening a culpable homicide docket from what I believe, and an investigation will ensue.
In light of the pit bulls claiming the lives of people, particularly young people, have you seen an increase of people surrendering their dogs at your facilities?
Oh, definitely. We have had a huge increase in animals being surrendered. We have had increased calls of people saying, is it law that I have to hand my animal over? We have increased calls from neighbors being more wary of what dogs are next door, predominantly pit bulls. So yes, it is on the increase.
And the issue of breeding them without the proper knowledge, how much does it contribute to this?
In my personal opinion, 100%. If you don't know the breed and you want to breed it, if there's a slight cross in that breed where there's a tendency of aggression from the previous bloodline, you're going to have problems.
Do you support the call for pit bulls to be banned?
Not at all. We support the calls, and we have always supported the calls and made calls for the stronger regulation of pet ownership.
If you say stronger regulation, give us an example.
There has to be regulated breeding. There has to be regulated control. Where animals are aggressive, you have to prove yourself, like owning I'm sorry to say, like a weapon. You have to prove that you know what you have in your possession to be able to handle what may come at you.
Thanks a lot for your time, sir.
You're welcome.
Well, Desiree, you've heard it from both sides, the pitbull owner and the SPCA here in East London. Well, police, as you've heard, that a docket has been opened and an investigation is underway. We're still waiting to speak to the police on what measures will be taken going forward.
Clearly a difficult interview, Abongile, and thank you so much for that update. You could see the incredulity in Abongile's face as he was interviewing the lady that owned the pit bull.